use, let me mute my phone. Sorry, just a second. All right. So this morning's Franklin County Board of Commissioners meeting for November 3rd, 2020. Happy election day to everybody. We will begin, well, first as a reminder to everybody, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. We kindly ask that you maintain a level of decorum as if the meeting were in person. Finally, for those of you that are calling in on your cell phones, please ensure that you have muted your phone by pressing *6. Thank you, everybody. We will begin this morning's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we do pledge allegiance to the flag this morning, I should let Commissioner Boyce know that I took, just for the occasion being that it's election day today, I took my Browns flag down and put the American flag up. But
well, I can definitely agree with that.
I'll put the Browns flag up again.
Tomorrow.
I think you should put it back up when they win their next game.
We have a bye week this week, so we'll put it up later. We'll leave the American flag. We'll leave the American flag up today. So anyway, we need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the September 15th, 2020 general session, the October 29th, 2020 briefing session, the October 26th and 28th, 2020 administrative briefings.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
The minutes have been approved.
All right, to the Domestic Relations Division.
Number 748-20, resolution authorizing a 2-year contract with Pediatric Academic Association for medical services for the Franklin County Juvenile Intervention Center in the amount of $1,434,670.
Morning, Commissioners. Barb Reeves, Deputy Director. This resolution is requesting a new 2-year contract with Pediatric Academic Association to provide medical and mental health services to our youth in the juvenile detention facility. The cost of the contract will not exceed $707,409 in the first year, and in the second year there is a 2.8% increase in the contract. Pediatric Academic Association has been providing medical services to the facility since 2001. Pending any questions, the court requests the approval of this resolution.
Hey, this is Commissioner Boyce. Commissioner O'Grady, may I proceed?
Please.
Yeah, thanks. So how's the contract going? I mean, I don't want to assume that just because we're renewing it or and continuing the service, are they doing a good job? Are we evaluating? How's our process to evaluate? I mean, this mental health conversation in our juvenile detention center is really critical to a lot of different things. And as I think about, and I have a second follow-up question to that.
Okay. The court is very pleased with this partnership with Pediatric. We have monthly meetings. I know they meet monthly with the superintendent. The mental health services is something that the court added, I want to say about 5 years ago, just because we had so many issues with the mental health. So they come on an as-needed basis. So it's been a great partnership with them, and we can't speak enough about the services that they provide to our center, particularly during this trying times of the pandemic.
I've seen her yet this morning, sir.
Okay. Maybe I'll toss it to Administrator Wilson. Are we connecting the Family Stabilization Unit with this work? I mean, this seems like a logical synergy and connection. Do you know if they're in the loop with the FSU unit?
I'm pretty confident that they are in the loop. There's regular communications between domestic courts staff and the team of the FSU unit. Walter Dillard is the deputy director leading this effort.
Okay. Administrator, since the deputy administrator is not on, if you could pass on to her, I'd like my office to connect the two. I'd like to be in the loop of this conversation, how they're working together with the FSU. I think this is like core to that work, and I just want to have a better, a little more intimate sense of what that relationship is and how we're working together. I think this is core work. So I know my staff is on, so if you could pass that on to the deputy administrator, I'd appreciate it.
Will do, Commissioner Boyce.
And I can certainly reach out to our superintendent of the facility to ensure that that also takes place.
That would be awesome. I know we're in COVID-19, and so it might not be the greatest time to do a tour and connection, but I know my staff is listening. I really want to focus on making this connection maybe sooner rather than later, so we can put this on our tab in our staff meeting and try to figure out how to do that. And so if you could add my staff to follow up with too, that would be great.
I will certainly do that.
Thank you. If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 748-20.
I'll
Thank you,
second.
Commissioner.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 748-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. To the engineer.
Resolution number 749-20. Resolution approving street, storm, and water improvement plans for the farms at Jefferson Phase 6, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. My name is Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering for the Engineer's Office. Apologize, I'm having some technical difficulties this morning, so I'm coming to you live on my cell phone. First of all, I'd like to say it's an absolute honor to serve the constituents of Franklin County with all of the elected officials for Franklin County. I'm very proud of the work that we do. So thank you to all the elected officials for all of your hard work.
Thanks,
Commissioners.
Fritz.
Commissioners, our first resolution seeks approval, as noted, of the street, storm, and water improvement plans for the farms at Jefferson Phase 6 subdivision. This development is located in northeast Franklin County and Jefferson Township, and this resolution will allow the developer to begin installing the necessary infrastructure for the development of the subdivision. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 749-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 749-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 750-20, report second of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation for a portion of the owners of property abutting the Morris Road at Babbitt Road Improvement Project, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $8,737.
As noted, our next resolution seeks compensation for a property owner abutting the Morse Road at Babbitt Road Improvement Project. This project is located in northeast Franklin County in Jefferson and Plain Townships and will construct a single-lane modern roundabout scheduled for construction in spring of 2022. We have negotiated with the property owners, and compensation is based on appraised fair market value. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 750-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 750-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 751-20, report second of the Franklin County Engineer establishing sums of compensation and damages for a portion of the owners on the Olentangy River Road 11.40 over Carhart Ditch Improvement Project, Sharon Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $3,156.38.
Commissioners, this similar resolution seeks compensation for property owners abutting the Olentangy River Road 11.40 over Carhart Ditch Bridge Improvement Project. This bridge replacement project is located in northwest Franklin County in Sharon Township. And again, we have negotiated with the property owner, and compensation is based on appraised fair market value. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of 751-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
yes,
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 751-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 752-20. Resolution authorizing a non-general fund transfer of appropriations from material and services to capital outlays.
Commissioners, the engineer's office has reviewed our year-end needs for resurfacing and right-of-way projects. We have determined that there is a need for additional capital outlays appropriations for the remainder of fiscal year 2020. Sufficient appropriations are available to transfer $750,000 from materials and services. A transfer of appropriations in that amount is requested with this resolution. If there are no questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 752-20.
second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
yes,
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 752-20 has been adopted.
Thank you all.
thank you,
Thank you. The recorder.
Resolution number 753-20. Resolution authorizing renewal agreement for support and maintenance for the County Fusion Records Management System in the amount of $405,667.85.
Good morning, Clerk, Commissioners. Thank you for having me today. Chris Couples, Chief of Staff for Franklin County Recorder Danny O'Connor, here to seek approval for a 5-year maintenance agreement renewal contract between Franklin County and CoFile Technologies, Inc. The County Fusion system was implemented about 5 years ago here in the Recorder's Office. It's the only document recording system that we use for all the documents we record. It's also the only system that the public uses when they search real estate records or any other records via our website. We've been very satisfied with it over the last 5 years, not just from an internal standpoint, but from an external standpoint. If a customer or someone from the general public has an issue with the system or has trouble, they can call our office, we can help them out, or they can also call CoFile or put in a ticket to get technical support for them. So I do want to clarify again, this is not an implementation of a new system. You know, instead of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a new system, we're asking for approval just for this maintenance agreement with the current system, beginning January 1st for about $78,000, increasing by 2% every year for 5 years, total cost of around $405,000. And I'll be happy to take any questions. If not, we're seeking your approval for the 5-year renewal agreement.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 753-20.
second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
yes,
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 753-20 has been adopted.
Thank you.
All right. The sheriff. Thanks, Chris.
Resolution number 754-20. Resolution authorizing contracts for canned, dry, frozen, and dairy food products for the Franklin County Correctional Facilities in the amount of $1,300,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dave Masterson, representing Sheriff Dallas Baldwin. This contract is authorized as a contract from November 4th, 2020 through May 3rd, 2021 for the food items that are used to supply the inmates with meals. It has been competitively bid through county purchasing, with the 9 selected vendors being able to provide the lowest and best price on the various items that they were awarded. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I mean, this resolution always kind of cracks me up because it's so many canned goods, so many food that you think of it. But anyways, if there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 754-20.
second,
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown.
yes,
I'm sorry, Commissioner Brown, we all
Yes.
froze for a moment. Thank
yes,
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 754-20 has been adopted.
$1.3 million worth of canned green beans.
Right. Love it.
Resolution number 755-20. Resolution approving a no-cost contract modification for canned, dry, frozen, and dairy food products for the Franklin County Correctional Facilities.
Commissioners, this resolution actually modifies the contract that you just approved. When we originally put the invitation to bid out for the previous contract, there was a purchasing notice that there was a couple of sections that were inadvertently left off. They were quality assurance, warranties, and return good policies. In consultation with the prosecutor's office, it was decided that there was no need to rebid. We would just modify the contract once it was awarded, which is what's being done here, to just add those three sections mentioned. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
There are no comments.
They forgot the chicken wings and ice cream.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm just gonna we're gonna get some letters about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some letters now. You're feeding chicken wings and ice cream. Yeah.
No.
We're gonna hear about
They've
that.
always cracked me up too. I mean, think about it. It's a big jail system. They've got it. You know, they got a lot of inmates. They got to feed, and they got a lot of product. They've got to put through there. So
Yeah.
But it has always cracked me up the way that it's worded. You know.
You
I
have
know,
no
right?
idea what the conversations used to be about this contract.
Oh yeah. No, donuts and the whole 9 yards back in the day. I remember.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So if hey, look, Dean's giving me the evil eye, you guys. We got to keep it. I'm getting the evil eyes from Dean.
Big guy
He's
from
like,
Clerk Blank.
he's saying like those are his move it on people eyes.
He's thinking he's going to have to take all this out of the notes. The meeting.
There will be an improvement. That's all we know for sure with Dean. Okay, so if there are no further comments or any questions, move for adoption of 755-20.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 755-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 756-20. Resolution authorizing a transfer of appropriations and a purchase order for the return of prisoners.
There we go.
Commissioners, this is a transfer of appropriations and approval of a purchase order as mentioned. This will allow us funds to get through the remainder of 2020 for the costs incurred in the transportation of prisoners and inmates back to Franklin County. This is the first one for 2020. As you may remember, we usually have several of these, but obviously even COVID has slowed down this particular process that we have for the Sheriff's Office. So with no questions, I ask approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 756-20.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 756-20 has been adopted. Resolution number 757-20. Resolution authorizing non-general fund supplemental appropriations for the Franklin County Concealed Carry Program.
Commissioners, this is a housekeeping measure. As with most big election times, we've seen an increase in concealed carry permit applications. This particular resolution will give us appropriations needed to pay the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations for the background checks. It's from the unappropriated cash balance, and it is a non-general fund appropriation. Pending any questions, I ask approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 757-20.
Second,
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 757-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Dave. Veteran Services.
Resolution number 758-20. Resolution authorizing a contract with Life Care Alliance to provide home delivered meals and home care services to low income, chronically ill, disabled, and homebound veterans, spouses, and surviving spouses in the amount of $150,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. This was competitively bid with the purchasing department. And under this program, home delivered meals for each qualified participant will receive 1 to 2 meals per day without incurring additional food costs. Under the home care program, each participant will be eligible for medication pickup, grocery shopping, light housekeeping tasks, and other like services. The contract will be for a 3-year period with the option to extend for 2 one-year periods with a maximum rate of increase of 2%. If there are no questions, we appreciate your approval on this matter.
If there are no comments or questions, certainly a worthwhile resolution, expenditure. Move for adoption of 758-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 758-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Animal control.
Resolution number 759-20, resolution authorizing a non-general fund transfer of appropriations for the purchase of capital equipment.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Allison Waters, Fiscal Officer for Animal Care and Control. This resolution requests the approval of non-general fund transfer of appropriations for the purchase of capital equipment. This equipment includes a medical refrigerator for proper storage of temperature-sensitive laboratory samples and medicine, an operating table designed with animals in mind to accommodate any size of dog or procedure, and a handheld veterinary analyzer which will provide us with quick in-house results on a multitude of tests that have been previously sent out to reference laboratories. If there are no comments or questions, we request approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 759-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 759-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
We will go to child support enforcement.
Resolution number 760-20, resolution authorizing a consultant contract with Herzog and Associates LLC for professional consulting services, $8,250.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Susan Brown here representing Child Support Enforcement Agency. And this resolution requests your consideration in approving a contract with Herzog and Associates LLC beginning November 1st, 2020 through October 31st, 2021 in an amount of $38,250. This contract follows the federal guidelines for professional software consulting services and is eligible for federal financial reimbursement. The purpose of this contract is to reimburse Herzog for professional IT consulting services associated with the maintenance of existing automated systems, the development and expansion of current technology, and to integrate current business process management systems with the agency's on-base document management system. Each unit of service for this contract is defined as an hour or a portion of an hour it takes to perform the services. Herzog's been providing services to the CSEA since approximately 2004, has contributed to automated manual processes, improved customer service, and performance success. Pending any questions, I request that this resolution be approved.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 760-20. Thanks for being so thorough.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 760-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Director. Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 761-20, resolution authorizing amendments to economic development grant agreements related to the COVID-19 pandemic in the amount of $2 million.
Thank you, and good morning, Commissioners. Earlier this year, the board authorized Administrator Wilson to execute agreements with Rev1 Ventures and the Columbus Urban League to establish 2 targeted small business assistance funds in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The first fund administration agreement was with Rev1 Ventures to do the back office work for a joint small business grant program with the City of Columbus, known as the Columbus-Franklin County COVID-19 Small Business and Recovery Fund, or the Recovery Fund for short. That June 9th resolution provided roughly $1.5 million for financial and technical assistance to small businesses located in the unincorporated townships and other municipalities outside of the City of Columbus, while the City of Columbus had CARES Act dollars that would be limited to eligible small businesses within their municipal boundaries, effectively laying a blanket of the same eligibility requirements over the whole county. That program included two grant components. The first was recovery grants to small businesses with 25 or fewer employees, giving preference to ownership of low to moderate income, ownership demographics that have been traditionally underserved, and businesses who've seen a 25% or greater decline in revenue due to the pandemic. The second component was a dollar-for-dollar matching grant for personal protective equipment to help businesses reopen safely. The second fund administration agreement was with the Columbus Urban League for a county-led effort, the Franklin County Community Equity Fund, which I'll refer to as the Equity Fund. That August 4th resolution provided $2 million for financial and technical assistance for African-American owned small businesses throughout Franklin County, including within the City of Columbus. This program consisted of three grant categories. The first being those businesses with fewer than 5 employees to help them stay open during the pandemic. The second being a job retention program for those businesses with at least 5 employees. And then the final being for digital or tech businesses. Those businesses also needed to demonstrate a 25% or greater decline in revenue. Of course, we also know that COVID-19 has disproportionately affected the African-American community as well as African-American owned businesses, and the Equity Fund was a concerted effort to assist those businesses that were left behind by federal programs. Both of the programs were dramatically oversubscribed. The Recovery Fund received almost 1,500 applications requesting more than $16 million in assistance, with roughly 30% of those coming from outside of the City of Columbus. So far, the county's portion of the Recovery Fund has supported more than 150 small businesses, 78% of which are minority owned, 44% of which are women owned, and 80% of which have 5 or fewer employees. The average grant award was roughly $8,700 for the Recovery Fund. The Equity Fund received 460 applications requesting roughly $16 million in assistance, and to date, the Equity Fund has supported 65 minority-owned businesses across 16 different industry sectors, 55% of which are women-owned, and the average grant award for this program was roughly $25,000. In the coming weeks, we'll be able to share more detailed reports, including demographic, geographic, as well as business characteristics of these grant recipients. It's important to note that both funds are no longer accepting new applications, but the purpose of the resolution would be to amend those fund administration agreements to provide up to $1 million of additional assistance to each fund to take care of those businesses whose applications were reviewed and deemed to be eligible prior to the initial funds being exhausted. Both funds have been extremely successful in their goals, but clearly these are difficult times, and a lot of folks are still struggling as we're seeing a new spike in case rates. So pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
Josh, thank you so much. Commissioner Grady, may I proceed?
Please.
Thank you. Josh, thank you for the report. I would like to see the detailed report when it is out, because I have to tell you, I don't know of any businesses that got the grants. I recommended several, and none of them seem to be able to access those funds. I'm not saying that doesn't mean they didn't get them. I just want to see the detail of who these companies are, where they are, what they do, and the whole layout of it. And so I think that's important as we invest this work in the right way. By the way, I think it seems that it's been done very well. But we've got to keep up with the detail, and it would be helpful when you have it to share that with the commissioners. And this is fine because it's summary oriented here, but I actually want to see the full detail report when you're ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Transparency
great
is
job,
key.
though. Yeah, great job. I don't want you to take anything I said as a criticism. I just don't know of any businesses, and I want to see them so I can understand how we help. I want to learn about how we help them, if it made a difference, and I hope to talk to some of those businesses so that as we go forward, we understand what their real needs are from a financial perspective. And so that's the motivation behind that. You guys have done a good job with this, but I want to go a little deeper.
Commissioner Boyce, I agree with you. I think it's important to see the whole report, and I think all of us would like to have that information. I think this is the numbers look great, and I think it will be nice to see some of the success stories that we have coming out of it and talk to some of the businesses that did get the money and the process and how it works. Because if we ever do get another tranche of funds, it would be nice to know what works and what doesn't work. And we need to understand it. So thank you.
Commissioners, this is Administrator Wilson. I assure you that the team will have that detailed data available, and we'll have the names of every business we've been able to help, the industry that they work in. And be able to give you the feedback at what the atmosphere is like. Under your leadership, though, fortunately, Franklin County is not going anywhere as it relates to being there to assist small and emerging and minority businesses in the long run, because you all created the Franklin County Business Growth and Equity Alliance that will live on and continue to have aspirations to help build underutilized businesses here in the county. So even though COVID-19, we hope, is here and gone, I think you all have built the foundation during this pandemic that Franklin County will continue to be there for our small minority businesses within the county. Keena Smith, you may want to add to that.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Chief Economic Equity Officer Keena Smith. And we do have the information that you're requesting, and we will get that over to you today. And you will be able to see the names of the companies as well as industries and jobs retained and created, revenue, that we have been able to assist in retaining within the county as well. So I know that the Small Business Recovery Fund as well as the Equity Fund has myriad details on all of the firms that we are working with. And as we are collecting those success stories, and so we will be happy to share those with you as well. And the last thing that I would like to say is just share my appreciation from the new Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the collaboration with the Department of Economic Development and Planning. Josh, in particular, has been a great partner, and have appreciated working with him thus far on this effort.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Josh for working with the Office of Management and Budget for getting this amended resolution to adjust these economic development grant agreements in short order. It's critical to get that help out the door. So EDP, thumbs up on your work in short order there.
Thank you, everyone.
If there are no comments or questions, no further, move for adoption of 761-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner Brown,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady. I'm sorry, Commissioner, I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Resolution number 761-20 has been adopted.
All right. Thank you. Now to Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 762-20, resolution approving subaward agreements with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Central Ohio Incorporated and City Year Columbus for mentoring and academic support programming in the amount of $280,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. Big Brothers Big Sister matches caring adult mentors with at-risk children who may be struggling academically or in need of adult guidance, role models, or friendship. Mentors meet at least twice a month with their mentees using activities that focus on the areas like character development or academics, and while still providing individualized guidance. This year, Big Brothers Big Sisters will seek to match approximately 232 youth with caring adult mentors. Through their Whole School, Whole Child program, City Year highly trained AmeriCorps members provide students with individualized support and interventions to help struggling students get back on track and stay on track with their peers. The AmeriCorps members will provide academic support alongside teachers in virtual classroom settings, as well as in-person support at various learning extension centers. With this new agreement, City Year will serve an estimated 627 students in grades 3 through 8 at the Trevitt Elementary and Champion Middle Schools on the Near East Side. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
I just want to say that, again, I think these are funds well spent, especially when you consider the moment we're in, some of our 2020 and pandemic year, in a year that really have yet to even begin to unwind in the direction it's in. But in all of this chaos, we know that our young people are most vulnerable. And so the resources that we're investing in their lives is really a resource investing in this community's future, and to maintain their level of mental health, strength, and academic success will be critical as we come out of this. I think this is one of my favorite parts of being a part of Franklin County is when we do grants, they're hardcore frontline resources to agencies that are helping us in this fight, and I love it. So if there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 762-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 762-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Vivian. Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 763-20, resolution authorizing receipt of a fiscal year 2021 Victims of Crimes Act, VOCA, grant from the Ohio Attorney General's Office in the amount of $167,045.52.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Pearson on behalf of the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Happy voting day. Commissioners, this resolution to accept the FY 2021 Victims of Crime Act grant is on behalf of our sister agency, the Court-Appointed Special Advocates, better known to the community as CASA, and will support partial funding of 6 positions, including 3 case managers and 3 volunteer services staff. The FY 2021 award, unfortunately, does reflect a 32% reduction over last year's award, and a 36% reduction when compared to the FY 2019 award. As in years past, acceptance of this award will require a 20% local match, which totals $33,409.11. Pending any questions, we request your approval to accept the VOCA award and commit the required 20% local match.
Good. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 763-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 763-20 has been adopted.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you, Melissa. Public Facilities Management.
Resolution number 764-20, resolution authorizing a modification to the contract agreement with George J. Eigel and Company Incorporated to perform additional hardscapes and landscaping activities associated with the construction of the Franklin County Correction Center at an increase in the amount of the contract not to exceed $6,224,670 for a total contract amount of $11,690,670.
Good morning, Commissioners. Darla Reardon, Director, Public Facilities Management. Also joining me today is Vivian Alexander, Chief Operating Officer. This resolution authorizes a contract modification with George J. Eigel and Company, Inc. to perform additional hardscapes and landscaping activities associated with construction of the new correction center. Approval of this contract modification will provide all site, excavation, and hardscapes work for the continuation phase of the new correction center project, such as additional earthwork, storm sewer, sanitary sewer, site water lines, temporary roads, concrete paving, excavation, and landscaping. Pending any questions, PFM respectfully requests your approval of this contract modification.
Commissioner Grady, may I ask a question?
Please.
Thank you. Director, so we do contract modifications. These are I always feel like that language is a little bit misleading. Are these truly changes or additions that we didn't plan on, and so it's essentially increase, or is it just really fulfilling a phase of the contract? Because I always get confused by that, and it always seems that it's not. It's kind of just moving as planned sometimes.
In this particular contract modification, as we discussed, it's basically one construction project now, and this scope of work for the initial build out was bid, and this contract modification, as recommended by the construction manager, would continue the scope of work critical to maintaining the schedule for the continuation phase. So the next portion, the next build out, which is particularly critical to ensure the schedule of the continuation phase and starting prior to winter. So it's a continuation of the initial scope, but really focused on the next phase or the continuation phase, not an increase to the initial scope of work, if that makes sense, or the initial building.
Right. That's why I asked the question, because whenever the word modification to me implies that it's an increase, and it's not. That's why I said it's always kind of misleading. And so I just want to make sure it's not necessarily increase. It's just it's the matter of the phases, how we chose to sort of combine or move forward with the phase 2 portion and kind of combine that. And so I'm kind of just trying to do layman's terms of this, so I make sure I understand it correctly.
Yeah.
And I think Administrator Wilson was coming.
Thank you, Claire, for clarifying. Yes.
In layman's terms, it doesn't reflect an increase in the scope or the request on our end of asking for additional work beyond what was originally bidded. It carries the work through phase 2A, and it has a contract completion date of March. Carries this agreement through March 29th of 2023.
Okay. Yep. That's helpful. Thanks, guys.
Work.
Yep.
Additional days on the task.
And then I always feel like, because remember when the public sees, they see the language for what it is, and they don't have the background all the time to kind of understand it. So when they see hardscapes and landscaping, someone will say, "Oh, you're spending $6 million on landscaping," and that's just not really the case. This is more a part of the infrastructure of that facility, and it includes some of those things. So it's not on that. So I always feel like these resolutions read, if you're not following that particular transaction long term, you might misunderstand what is being said. So I appreciate that clarification for me and for the public. Thank you.
It can be very complex, so I appreciate talking through it with you and clarifying.
If there are no further comments or questions, move for adoption of 764-20.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 764-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Darla. Purchasing.
Resolution number 765-20. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,524,838.91.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sharon Sabri sitting in for Director Megan Perry Balanier. This resolution requests your approval of 117 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. This week, 16 out of 21 eligible POs totaling $147,070.74 are being presented for award to 10 women business enterprises, 6 minority business enterprises, This represents 76% of the eligible PO volume and 94% of the eligible PO dollar value. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
There are no comments or questions. Move for adoption of, Sharon, can you give us the history, the 5-year history of, no, I'm just teasing you.
Don't do that to me.
You're like, I've made it without any questions.
I probably could if I had a couple of minutes.
I bet you could.
I'm sure I could.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 765-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 765-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Good to see you, Sharon.
You too, Commissioner Brown.
To the Board of Commissioners. Thanks, Sharon.
Thank you.
Resolution number 766-20, resolution authorizing the execution of a temporary construction easement with the City of Columbus for the purpose of providing ingress and egress construction access for the City of Columbus's Alum Creek Storm Tank Project.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Long, Deputy Administrator. The City of Columbus is undertaking a storm sewer improvement project that necessitated several construction easements. The fair market value has been determined for those easements, and therefore this resolution would execute the temporary construction easements in exchange for the fair market value of $980 for the 2 parcels that the county owns. Pending any questions, would recommend your approval.
Okay. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 766-20.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 766-20 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk Kinderling, are there any journalizations?
One, Commissioner, regarding the County Records Commission, as was journalized on Tuesday, March 17th, 2020. Commissioner Kevin L. Boyce, in his capacity as chair of the Franklin County Records Commission, has designated Keena Smith to serve as his designee for 2020. Commissioner Boyce hereby reaffirms his designation of Ms. Smith for the remainder of 2020 in her new role as Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Procurement Economic Development Officer. And that's it, Commissioner.
Okay, great. That concludes our business for November 3rd, 2020. Mr. Hopkins, do you have anything for us today? I don't believe Mr. Hopkins is with us. Is there any other member of the media that's on today that would like to ask us any questions? Hearing none. Everybody have a great election day.
You as well.
Too.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Hopefully.
And I hope we as a nation do as well.
Yes. Well, we'll all be monitoring and paying attention. I hope today is less stressful than we all anticipate. And let's hope that the coming days are less stressful as well. Take care, everybody.
For sure. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.